Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be using our Ninja Creami Deluxe to make matcha ice cream. So you ready? Let's get into this. For our ingredients we have our silk Nextmilk whole fat oat milk. That's a tongue twister. Some vanilla whey protein. This is the Dymatize stuff that I normally use. And I like this stuff because it's super low in cholesterol. Our matcha tea, monk fruit sweetener, and our egg yolks. If you'd like to make this recipe, all the ingredients and measurements are down in the description of the video, along with the calorie count, the protein, the carbs, and the fat. The first thing we want to do is put our egg yolks into a mixing bowl, and we're going to use a whisk to beat these until they get nice and smooth. You'll be able to tell when they're ready because it's going to go from this darker, almost orange color we got here into a softer yellow color, sort of like we got here on the edge. Once it's looking sort of like this, and it's got sort of that kind of consistency, then we will add in our monk fruit sweetener. We're going to want to whisk this in until it gets combined really well. We don't want to see any little bits of white granule sweetener in there at all. Once that's combined, we'll go ahead and add in our oat milk, and we're going to whisk that in really good. And we'll just do this long enough until we get sort of a consistent color here. And once you get that combined, we can move on to our next step. So set your burner to about a medium heat, and we can pour in our mixed ingredients. We're going to be heating this up to about 175 degrees Fahrenheit or so, and that's just to temper the eggs in our mix because, after all, they are raw eggs. Most eggs these days are pasteurized, so you really don't have to do this, but it's safer and you're actually going to end up with a better result anyway because our other ingredients we're putting in here work a lot better with warm ingredients. If you have a digital thermometer, this is going to come in really handy for this part. So once this gets to about 110 degrees or so, then we can add in the rest of our ingredients. Remember, you're going to want to be stirring this pretty often. You don't want to let it sit too long because otherwise the stuff around the edges is going to burn a little, and that kind of makes for gross ice cream. Okay, we're right at about 110 degrees. We can go ahead and mix in our other ingredients now. So we're going to whisk in the whey protein, add it in slowly, and just kind of whisk as you go along. You don't want to throw the whole thing in there all at once because then you're probably going to get it to clump. Once we got our protein mixed in there pretty good, then we'll go ahead and add our tea. If you can't get this to dissolve completely, don't worry too much about it. You're probably going to get a few speckles here and there in there. That's fine because when you process this in the Ninja Creami, all that's going to smooth right out for you anyway. You might notice that I'm using a metal whisk here in my non-stick pans. Normally that's a big no-no because you can mess up your non-sticks, but these are the Ninja Never Stick non-stick pans, and they're specially made to resist that, so that's kind of cool. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Okay, it looks like this is just about ready to take out. So we'll remove this from the heat, and we're going to let this cool here for just a little bit. You can actually just put this straight into your Ninja Creami pint and freeze it, but you're going to have less ice crystals forming if you let this cool down a little bit first. Once that's cooled down a little bit, we can take our Ninja Creami container, and we're going to pour in our mix to the scoopable max fill line right here. You don't want to go beyond that because if you do, there's not going to be enough room left in here for it to process and you're going to end up with a big mess. Okay, so we'll pour this in, just like that. We'll throw on the lid, and then this is going to go into our freezer for at least 24 hours. Just be sure to have this on a flat surface in here.
2,000 years later.
After it's been about 24 hours, we can take our matcha ice cream out of the freezer. If you leave this out on your counter for about 20 minutes or so, you'll have less of a chance of having to hit the respin button when it goes into your Ninja Creami. Otherwise, if it turns out a little bit granule, you can always just take a tiny bit more milk, pour it in here, and hit the respin button, and that should clear up all of that stuff for you. So we're going to take off our lid, throw our ice cream into the creamy pitcher, put on the lid, lock it into place, put everything into the machine and lock that in. Then we'll turn on our Creami. We're just going to process the top half today, I think, so we'll just click the top button. Then we're gonna set this to light ice cream since we're doing a pretty low-fat recipe. And then all we got left to do is hit start. Okay, let's check the result. Looking pretty good. Let's serve that up. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about Joe's Phenomenal, you can watch a couple more videos, or you can check us out online at joesphenomenal.com. You are gonna love this ice cream. It came out
fantastic.
If you ever had an iced matcha latte over at Starbucks and you liked it, then this thing is gonna really blow your mind. If you like this video, I think you're gonna like this video up here where I show you how to make high protein, no sugar Snickers ice cream. That came out fantastic. If you like Snicker bars, you're gonna get addicted to this. Well, that's it for today, and I hope to see you back again here really soon. And until that time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.